A, B, C. Always be closing. Okay, so we want to 10x your business. We need to take the leads and turn them into orders. Leads are just that. They're not in the books, so they're not going to drive your revenue. What are the keys to closing deals? I'm going to share with you my knowledge, my experience, and how I've been able to 10x my business to make sure that we're driving revenue and increasing revenues and profits. So, starters, the fine balance between being persistent and being a pest. So you want to make sure that you're following up with your leads, that you're following up until you get that confirmation of the deal, but you really don't want to be a pest. People are busy. Your customers are busy. So respect that and make sure that you're not crossing that line into pest territory. But I would say for most new salespeople or business development people, business managers, often we're going too far the other way. We're so worried about being a pest that we're not being persistent about our follow-up. So make sure that once your customer gets the number of, the quotation, how much is this deal going to cost them, that you're actively following up on that lead to ensure that you're turning the order from a prospective order to an actual confirmed deal. Okay. Next, understand that closing the deal doesn't start when you give the price for the deal. It starts the moment you meet the prospect. So especially in niche market businesses, we're selling trust. The reason for this is because you can't generally show your prospect, your client, the service or the product actively. So if I want to buy a pair of shoes, I just go to the store and I try the shoes on. So I know if I like those shoes or I don't like those shoes. The same can't be said if I'm buying a turbine. Say I make specialty turbines for the power industry. Well, my client isn't going to be able to try that on. So if you think about that, it means that really they're buying trust. They're buying from you the trust that you can get the project completed. So if you're offering a custom engineering solution or architectural services, they can't see the finished product that you're going to create for them at the time of making the decision to buy. So how do we close that deal? We build trust because we're selling trust. We're not only or really often selling the final product. We're selling the commitment to be able to create that final product. Keep this in mind as you're trying to close the deal. Also, we never want to be selling on price. With niche market businesses, it's too easy to get stuck into that trap where you think that you're selling on price. You don't need to be doing that. You need to have your client wanting to buy before the stage of the buying decision has happened, because you've worked with your client throughout the entire buying process to engage with them on what it is that they're looking for. Keep in mind, your client has come to their job that day or that month when they first engage you on buying the product or service that you're working with them on. They've come to their job with a demand, and that's generally a demand from their manager or their board to execute a certain project. So they need to buy something, could be the software or the product that you're selling and your competitors are selling, in order to solve their problem. And so you're helping them in executing in their job. And so if you're overly persistent and become a pest, you annoy them to the point that they go and want to work with your competitor, or you're not persistent enough and they just don't get that feeling from you that you're really engaged on their project compared to your competitor. Or if you're not persistent enough, you don't uncover the decision criteria that's stopping them from buying from you. So these could be delivery, they have an urgent delivery, quality requirements or specialty documentation. It could be a way in which they need it to be delivered, the product or service, or it could be a feature or benefit of your product or service that's not meeting what they need. If you're not following up and persistent enough with the client to ask the questions to determine what these elements are that are stopping the buying decision, I assure you, your competitor is. There's always someone else in this conversation that's trying to win the business beyond yourself, your competitor. And so if they're asking the key strategic questions of the client that are driving the decision-making process, and you're not, then they're going to uncover those requirements faster than you. They're going to address them. And by addressing them, they're going to close the deal. It's rare that your client is purchasing purely based on price. It's the other factors that are driving their buying decision. And as a sales professional or business manager in your niche market, you need to be identifying what those are in order to uncover them to enable you to be successful and close the deal. Please like and subscribe to the channel if you're loving the content. And please watch a different video, which is on the art of cold calling to help you with getting more deals in the pipeline so that you can close them. Okay. If your customer is asking about price and driving you on price, they've likely made the decision to buy from you. So be cautious about giving deals at that point. There's not too much of a requirement if they're asking about discounts because it's a signal that they've made a decision to buy. If somebody doesn't want to buy from you, it's not frequent that they would do it by negotiating with you. They do it by stopping calling you or stopping engaging with you because they're moving forward with someone else. It's just like dating. If you're dating somebody and they're arguing with you, it's usually because they want to keep things going and they want to resolve some issue, not that they want to move on. We've all been there. We've gone through breakups. If they want to move on, they just stop talking to you and they move on. Keep that in mind as you continue down this journey. So those are the keys to closing the deal. Sometimes we just overthink it as professionals, right? Engage the client, know that it's the lead up to the order, not the moment that they decide to buy that is closing it. It's the questions you ask. It's asking those questions that uncover what are the key decision-making processes that they're going on. Because when you ask those questions, it gives you the opportunity to objection handle. So if someone says to you, well, I'm thinking, I don't know if I can buy from you because I have a immediate delivery requirement. Well, if you know that, now you can look at your supply chain. You can see if you can actually match that immediate delivery requirement. But if you don't ask the question, you don't know. All too often, as professionals starting out, we just want to send the quote and hope that they buy. No, it's actually in your control. You can make the difference. So if you love the content, like and subscribe. Thanks for watching the video.